Hi guys, and welcome to another one of my videos. So I've actually started the April Magical Readathon by Book Roast, and it's the one where you take the OWL tests, and for each subject you pick a book, and I did a video on the ones that I picked. I'm starting with The Cross and the Switchblade. It's about this pastor who preaches to all these teenagers that are on the streets in gangs and on drugs and things like that, and he just goes on faith. And it's a really touching story so far. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm really excited to continue reading this and finish it. And so I'm reading this at the same time as I'm reading a few of the other ones. And then at the end of this video, when I've edited and added every clip that I show on here, I should have the wrap up by then. So I'm hoping that I finish all these books by the deadline. So we'll see how it goes, but so far I'm feeling pretty good. I know I can finish this. I'm not worried about this one, and yeah, so stay tuned in this video for the rest. Hey guys, and so I am back to add to this video because I finished The Cross and the Switchblade and I really enjoyed it, and it's just wonderful to see how God works, and you just have to have faith and patience, and it was a really great book. Then I read this one in like a day and then I started reading Adventures in Pet Sitting. It's an okay book. I'm halfway through it. It's pretty decent, so halfway through it in 2 days, and that's not too bad, so I will finish this eventually. And then I started reading A Wrinkle in Time. And this book, I don't know, I was expecting like the fantasy to be a little more exciting and the characters to be more interesting, and I'm having a really hard time getting into not just the story but also like the characters, and I just don't feel invested in the characters at all. I will finish this. It's not something that's going to take me too long. I've finished these two. It took me about 3 days. And I'm currently reading these three at the same time. So I think in a week, maybe a week and a few days, I can probably finish all three of these. But I'm really enjoying A Court of Thorns and Roses, so I'm really happy. So I'm really excited. Anyhow, so that's what's happened the first week. So we'll see how it goes for the rest. Hey guys, so it's the third week. And I actually ended up finishing, so far I've finished these two, and then I finished A Wrinkle in Time. This was really torturous to get through, but I'm glad I read it because then at least I pushed myself to finish it. So I read this one as well, and I'm almost done with this one. I only read like 2 or 3 stories every now and then because I know I'm going to finish this eventually. And then I am almost done with A Court of Thorns and Roses. I should be done with this by today. And I am really enjoying this story a lot. It's really just amazing. It's a great fantasy. I'm so happy that I continued with it because I was worried that I couldn't get into the story at the beginning of it. And I was wondering why everybody loved it so much. And now I know why everybody loved it so much. So I'm actually really excited to be almost done with this and then to get to the next book. And I'm also reading Empire of Storms at the same time as I'm finishing up A Court of Thorns and Roses. So I'm reading both of them simultaneously. So far I'm enjoying this one a lot more though. So I'm trying to savor the last few pages slowly. But yeah, I'll be done with that by today if I just focus on that one book. So pretty much in the 2 weeks I was able to read this one, this one, this one. I will have finished this one. And then I'm pretty sure I can finish this one as well by today, by tonight, maybe by tomorrow. So, and then I can focus just on Empire of Storms. Once I finish that, then I'll focus on Crest. So, I'm actually quite proud of myself because that would be considered about 4 books right there. So, yay! That's normally the most I've read in a month, but if I continue this way, I will be able to read all 6 maybe. Definitely 5. I think I will finish Empire of Storms, and so then it just depends if I can finish Crest in time, but I think I can because I have, what, like 2 weeks left? So I think I can. So we'll see how that goes. I'm excited. So the update is I finished Adventures in Pet Sitting. I really enjoyed the little stories. They were really cute and funny and sweet. And you could tell this person really loves animals. So I finished that, and then I finished A Court of Thorns and Roses. At first, I didn't know if this book was going to be for me because I was having a hard time getting into the story. But once I got past a certain point at the beginning, I really started enjoying this book, and halfway through I was totally into it, and I just love all the different characters and the story, and I can't wait to read the next one. So I'm really happy I read this, and I can't wait to continue with the series. And then, because I was reading throughout all of April, even when I was reading the other books, I was reading little bits here and there of Empire of Storms, I was able to finish this, and I'm so excited that I finished it. I have mixed feelings. I love the story. I love the characters. I love some of the couples. But I have a few mixed feelings about the whole series in general. But some books I loved more than others. But I enjoyed this last one. This one's actually pretty good. It's probably up there among my favorites from the series. So I was happy that I got to it and that I finished it. And now I can move on to Tower of Dawn soon after this readathon. So I'm really happy about that. And I also just started Crest, which is the last book I had on my readathon. And I'm only 30 pages in, but I'm loving it so much. And I really like the series. The series is so fun and just enjoyable. I love the characters, everything about the series I love. I also started OWLS, even though that's not on my readathon. I was at the library and they had it, and I was like, oh, I might as well get it. And I started reading it. I'm like about 30 pages in. It's okay. It hasn't like completely captivated me, but I'm interested enough to continue with the story. So I'm going to see how that goes as well. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm reading Crest. I'm hoping I finish this in time, and we'll see how it goes. But I'm really excited. I'm really enjoying this a lot. I'm loving this readathon. I'm so proud of myself because I normally don't read this many books. So I'm really, really happy. So quick update, I'm still reading Crest and I'm really, really loving it a lot. I think it's my favorite out of the 3 so far. But then I went to the library and I mentioned OWLS on my last update. I actually finished it and I'm a good ways through Crest as well. I didn't actually enjoy this book as much as I hoped I would. The story sounded super interesting. I thought it'd be super interesting. I didn't particularly like the character. I definitely didn't like the romance. Some of the supporting characters were okay. I liked a few more than others. But it was just an okay read. It wasn't like something that I expected a lot more. Let's just put it that way. It was okay. And then I checked this out from the library as well. I've heard great things about this comic. It didn't take me very long to read it. I think it took me like, I want to say 2 hours, give and take, something like that. I loved it. It was such a good story. I loved the characters. I really enjoyed it, and I'm so happy I got to read this. And yeah, that's my update for now. So this is the wrap up for the month of April. I'm super excited. I've never read this many books, and I am just so thrilled that I was able to read this many. So I'm just going to go quickly through all of them, and that'll be the end of the video because I finally got to the end of the readathon. So let's get started. So these are the first that I read, and they are true stories of animals, and this one has more like heroic adventures and stuff that animals have gone through, which is pretty cool. I wish I had a little bit more emotion in it, but this one's pretty cute. It has a lot of cute little stories. The author was a pet sitter, and so it's just experiences the author has been through with animals, and they're funny and cute, and yeah, so that was enjoyable. And then the other one I read was The Cross and the Switchblade, an inspirational true story of a pastor that goes out and preaches to all these gangsters and lost kids, and he gets them on the right path and gets them to know God. And it's a really touching story, and you get to meet a lot of these kids, and it's really, really great, and I loved it. Next one is A Wrinkle in Time. This is a classic. I've had it for a really long time in my TBR and in my book pile, and even before the movie, like a really long time. And I can say that I was really eager to read it, and I was really excited, and I did not like it at all. I didn't like the characters, I didn't like the story, I couldn't get into it, but I forced myself to finish it, so I'm really happy that I finally got through it, and that I finally read it, so, you know, at least that came out of it, but I didn't like it at all. I don't know why, I couldn't like it. I couldn't get into the story or the characters. Next are these next 3 books I'm super excited I read, and I loved all of them. The first one is A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I finally got through it. I started reading this book a while back, but I stopped because I was having a hard time getting into the story, and there was so much hype about it, so I was wondering what was wrong with me. So for this readathon, I thought I'd put it up there and I would actually get through it and read it, and I'm so glad I did because I ended up loving all the characters and the story, and I'm really excited about the rest of the series. All I know, the only thing that's been spoiled for me for the longest time because of Instagram, is that she is with Rysand instead of Tamlin. So I want to see what happens, why that happened, and how it came about. I'm really, really curious. But the story itself was amazing, and I loved it, and I cannot wait to continue with the series. So I'm so happy I pushed through it. Next one is Empire of Storms. I actually really enjoyed this story. The series itself has had its ups and downs for me. My favorite out of all the series was Assassin's Blade, which I know are just novellas put together to describe the main character's backstory. But I really, really, really loved it so much that it was my favorite book. I read it before I read any of the other books, and it's what got me into the series. I enjoyed A Thorn of Glass. I also enjoyed, what was the next one? Crown of Midnight. And after that, I didn't enjoy the next 2 books, which really kind of made me think about not continuing the series, but I've never not finished a series, so I knew I had to continue it. And I'm glad I did because I actually really enjoyed this one. And I love all the characters and how they've grown, and I love the coupling that she put. She put different couples in here, and I really, really like the couples she kind of put together. And so I'm really excited to read Tower of Dawn now. I heard that's the best one out of the whole series, so I'm really, really excited, and I hope I like it as much as people have liked it, and I really want to get to that before the next book comes out. And then I read Crest from the Lunar Chronicles. Oh my gosh, I love this series so much. I really liked and enjoyed the first 2, but I loved this 3rd one, so I can't wait to get to Winter. This was my favorite out of the series so far. The stories are great in all 3. I love the characters. Every single character I love. There's no one character that I dislike. So I'm super excited. I love how she did that, how she gave each character their own personality and made them all likable. I love every character. That's one of the things that has me like astounded at how amazing this series is. So I'm so excited to continue with Winter. And then those were the original ones that I had set up for myself for the Magical Readathon. But I added one more, and that's The Bells. I've been wanting to read this for a while now because I've seen it all over Instagram, and the cover is just beautiful. But I actually checked this out from the library. I had great expectations for this book. I was really eager to read it, and I was super excited when I saw it available. But once I read it, I was really disappointed. I didn't like the story. I didn't like the characters. I like the idea of the story. I just don't like how it was executed. I couldn't get into the story or the character, and it dragged on forever. Oh my gosh, this book dragged on forever. But I can't imagine myself reading the next books in the series. I did not enjoy this book at all. And the next 2 that I got from the library are actual graphic novels. They have nothing to do with the Magical Readathon, but I'm going to add them here because I finished them. Well, I finished one, the Nimona one. It's a graphic novel. I loved it. The characters are hilarious and very likable. The story is just amazing. I highly recommend it. It's so good. And the last book that I checked out, but I did not finish. This is the only one I did not finish this month. And that is my favorite thing, is Monsters. And it's just really, really long. And for some reason, I'm really enjoying it. But it's taking me a really long time to get through it. I don't know why. But I am enjoying it. I can't get through it for some reason. But the art in it is just amazing. I really need to check it out again. So that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching, and see you guys next time.